and welcoming you to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Yes, it's very nice being here.
Right. He was saying outside that he's a bit nervous, and I'm saying, relax, relax, relax. This is just a beautiful conversation that we're going to be having. And I mean, I'm going to be asking him about his business, so he has to know.
I should, but we don't do this every day, you
Yeah,
know.
I know. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. Tick it off your bucket list if you have it there. Anyway, I want to give you an opportunity for you to tell us a little bit about who you are and how you found yourself in the world of business and entrepreneurship in general.
Thandisa, I'm Queenstown bred and born.
Okay.
Been here all my life. Interesting fact, my dad was the first headmaster of Kwakumani.
Really?
Yes, yeah. So
Wow.
we've been here and we've been part of the community for many years.
That's interesting.
I grew up on a farm, so agriculture is in the
In your
blood.
blood.
After Dad left teaching, he had a few supermarkets in town.
Okay.
So business is in our blood. Our family has been traders, old Transkei traders from Lady Frere.
Okay.
So we're from this area, and business is our life.
Mm.
And that's what we've been doing, and
That's
That's what
about
we do.
you. I think it's so interesting that, you try to teach children in the way they ought to go. You try to guide them. You try as a parent to show them, the way. Sometimes children will just go the opposite way. It's interesting how, sometimes it does happen correctly that they follow the guidance of the parents. I'm talking now from the perspective that, business has been in your family and you decided to take it. Was there never an inclination to just, go to something totally different? How did you just fall into following your father's footsteps?
the inclination was there to get out of the family business.
Oh, ne?
Yeah, so
Okay.
when we got the chance, after I got married, we moved to Keiamouth and we started a company down in Keiamouth.
Okay.
And that's where I ended up getting the opportunity, because my dad was never really a farmer.
Okay.
Although we stayed out on the farm, my mom was from a farming family.
Okay.
So my mom and myself were the farmers. My dad was
Wow.
a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got the opportunity to get out of the family business,
Mm-hmm.
we moved to Kai. And eventually when I sold my business down there, I got the opportunity to farm myself.
Yourself, for
Yes,
yourself.
yeah.
Wow.
So then we set up a chicken farm, piggery farm.
Mm-hmm.
And being a BCom guy with business experience, I didn't make the money that the book said I should make.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So I started analyzing why,
Why?
and what's happening. And eventually I realized that it's all about technology.
Okay.
And how you implement technology even on a farm. And if you don't stay up with technology and implement it, then you're going to fall
run at a
behind.
loss.
Yeah, you're going to fall behind.
I think it's quite beautiful what you're saying as well, because most of the time people who get into farming don't necessarily have like a business backing, an educational backing, to support getting into it. It's usually, I love land and I just get in there and keep doing it, and I've got tractors and whatever. I think it's beautiful that you actually had that opportunity to get that education, to merge it in with your agriculture interest, if you will. And, talking about technology, I think it's very important that all businesses are savvy of technology and how they can integrate it into how to make their businesses much more profitable. Now, agriculture is seen sometimes by people as one of the hardest businesses to do. And I know it's a perception that we may have as external people to it, but as someone who has walked the journey of agriculture, would you say it's hard? It's harder than the average business, or all businesses are hard?
Yeah, Thandi, I don't think there's any easy business.
Okay.
I think all businesses are hard. All businesses have got their own challenges. But something about agriculture that I think stands out is that you are in the hands of the environment.
Okay. The control
So
is limited.
Your control is
Sure,
limited.
sure.
You can control and manage so much of it, and the rest is up to God and the environment.
So do you pray more when you're a farmer?
My father used to say he can't be a farmer because he can't sit on the stoop and wait for the rain to come.
Oh my word!
So that sums it up to me for me, and that was one of the reasons why when I farmed chickens myself and farmed pigs myself, I needed to I'll never forget in one afternoon, within half an hour, we lost about 50% of the chickens we had on the farm. And that was purely because the wind changed direction slightly and the chickens got scared and ran into a corner and killed themselves.
Oh my word.
And then I thought of what my father always said, and then realized I need to do something about it. I can't just sit here and wait and hope for the best. So
You have to action
yes,
something.
so we started experimenting and eventually designed environmental controlled broiler houses, which are totally insulated from what happens outside.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden I started making money out of chickens.
From a huge problem.
From a huge problem, and yeah, and that's when I realized you've got to employ the technology that's available.
Sure.
And being a small scale chicken farmer, at that stage I tried to buy the equipment and the technology locally, and it was just not available. So we ended up actually flying to China and imported what we needed to do.
Really?
And then eventually, after a long story, when we stopped farming, we decided that we've now developed this technology, we've developed some solutions. I'm sure there are many other farmers that are battling the same problems.
Obviously.
Let's start KDC trading and start offering those solutions to other farmers.
Oh my word.
And that's how KDC trading was born. And for many years we imported, it's about 15 years now, we've been importing equipment and slowly developing a lot of it. We've started producing locally as well. And we've been selling solutions, selling broiler and piggery solutions to mainly your small scale farmers. And it's been going well, yes. And we've seen a lot of success stories. I always say to people, when they say to me, why do I need to spend that extra money on building that chicken house? It's about the return. You're looking at a 20%, 20 to 25% increase in your bottom line by employing the right technology.
And why not go for that? That's a marginal increase. It's like quite
it's similar than farming tomatoes in the open field and farming tomatoes in a tunnel. It's the same effect. And we all can buy day-old chicks that are very good genetics. We can all buy food from feeding companies that is top of the range food. But at the end of the day, and we can work hard. And I always maintain Xhosa women are probably the best women to farm chicken, the best people to farm chicken because of their commitment to the agriculture. And but the catalyst that makes everything work is the environment that you keep the chicken in. Because those broilers have been genetically so modified that they can't survive outside. They've got to have the right food. So if you don't have the right environment to keep them in, then all the other things you put in is just a waste. So the catalyst to make it all work is having the right technology. And that you can pull through to any business. Any business today, if you don't employ the right technology, and you don't have the right systems in place, you are going to battle. And I think people need to realize that.
Gerrie, I think, what I'm stuck at, you're saying a lot, like quite a lot of insightful information that, especially as someone who's farming small scale, it's something that we need to think about. But what I am caught at is the fact that you experienced a problem and everything else was born from it. I think that is quite wonderful. Sometimes we look at the problems that we experience in the moment, you feel bad, you are pained to the core, you even think about giving up, you think about throwing in the towel. But looking at the challenge that you experienced and how you converted it, or you decided to use the mindset, how can I solve it? And you were not only able to solve it for yourselves, but now solve it for other people that might be, experiencing the same problem. It's like if you were able to be given like a picture of a few moments down the line when the problem happens, you'd actually we would as people embrace problems and challenges that come, because we would get to see that at the end of the day, from the problems, solutions are birthed.
We've got a simple philosophy that I operate on and my wife joins me in. And we've been in business for 20 plus years, 25 years. And we've been through a lot of challenges and a lot of up and downs. And we strongly believe, you've never failed until you've given up. Only when you give up, you failed.
If you still continue.
Up to then, every setback you get, every challenge you get
Push through
is a
it.
learning curve. Because once you've pushed through that learning curve, once you've pushed through that challenge, it's given you the tools to take the next step. And that is important. And a lot of people forget that, and just give up instead of just trying to find a solution, make a plan,
And
push
keep
through.
going.
And then you've got the experience.
Wow.
And that experience is worth more than anything
Whatever.
else.
All right. And moving to something else, we have just experienced globally the COVID-19 pandemic, and, a lot of businesses were hard hit. People, life was just hard hit with the pandemic. And I wanted maybe to give you an opportunity to talk how the pandemic affected some of your businesses. Did you get affected, or was your business one of those that, were at an opportunity time, or saw the pandemic as an opportunity and were able to rise above that? What happened around your businesses in that time?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was an opportunity, but it was definitely a challenge.
Okay.
And it was a challenge that we needed to push through. And luckily, it didn't affect us financially too much at the time.
Sure.
Although I think, like most businesses are experiencing a year or two down the line, the financial effect of the pandemic is
showing up.
Is coming through. It's putting a lot of businesses under strain, and we've got to work through that now and recover from that.
Interesting. At least you're one of those lucky ones who did not, at least, thank God, shut the doors, because some businesses had to close down and, look at different avenues altogether, or not only diversifying, but just, starting over from scratch. So
no, we also did that to a great extent, is diversifying and changing our focus slightly and to eventually make it work.
Yeah. And now I want you to touch a little bit more on some of the services that you offer at KDC. I know you've already said solutions, but, for someone who's listening in and who's hoping that, I could knock on KDC's doors for help, what kind of help can they be able to get at a high level?
At a high level, KDC is involved, and I must maybe just mention there, we're busy restructuring KDC now as well.
Okay.
And we've had a construction side, which we've moved into 5 Boetjies Construction, who now specializes only in construction.
Okay.
The consultancy side and business advice side, we've set up the tax shop Kumani, which is a specialist accounting firm.
Okay.
But specializing more in what we call business accounting, management accounting, systems and solutions. Although we offer the complete range of standard accounting services right up to your financial statements and whatever. We specialize more in looking at making sure a business employs the right technology from day one. And having the right system in place and having the right controls in place. So we assist from that basis, which means we've got a much smaller client base. But we make sure the client base that we take on are people that want to work with us and that we can work with. And we help by setting up the business processes, procedures, the compliance, everything from day one, that doesn't cause problems. Because I've seen that so many times that small businesses fail. And if you go and look, and they say 80+% of small businesses fail in the first 2 years. And if you go and look at why they fail, most of them fail because of mismanagement. And mismanagement, not because people don't want to work or not putting the effort in.
But they're
putting the effort in, they're putting the work in, but they're not getting the reports. They're not getting the info back to make educated decisions. So it's important that we set those systems up right from the beginning, that you keep control over your business. Because one of the things that tend to happen is cash flow starts building and people misjudge cash flow with
profitability. That's a big mistake.
That's a big mistake, and it's a big mistake in small businesses. And then people start spending and they buy new vehicles and new houses and what and flashing. And then 6 months down the line, they realize, oh hell, I need that money now to keep the business going. So it's to try and help people through those curves, and that's what the tax shop will be specializing in.
Sure.
And KDC is going to be the supplier of the equipment and the advice and whatever. And then if we need to construct a chicken house or a piggery, then we'll pull on 5 boykies to assist with that.
Okay.
And if we need to offer business services, we'll pull on the tax shop to assist with that. So yes, we can offer within the group basically all the services you need.
Wow. So 3 main sides. If you want assistance in terms of the agri side, that's where KDC comes in.
Yes.
But on the construction that is necessary for that, you rope in
5 boykies.
5 boykies. Yeah, I can't say 5 boykies. And then the other end of the business, which is the soft side of the business, advisory and consultancy, that is the tech shop Komani. Beautiful. Now, I know that you're also having an auction that is coming up. Talk to us a little bit about that, and what I think smaller businesses don't really understand, the opportunities that are presented in an auction. How does it work? I think it can be a little bit intimidating as well if you don't know. So talk to us through just at a high level what an auction is all about, like what it will look like when you're hosting it, and what are some of the things that could be on offer on the day.
Okay, this auction has come about because of the restructuring of KDC.
Okay.
So we're cleaning house basically. We've been operating from the same premises for the past 13 years.
Okay.
And it's time to clean house. There's a lot of stuff lying around that we're not using, that we want to get rid of. We're actually dropping our stock levels as well quite drastically. We used to import 99% of our equipment that we resell. But lately we've set up local agreements with local companies that manufacture locally. So we're clearing out warehouses, what we don't need, and what we can replace with local stock.
Sure.
So there'll definitely be opportunities for a variety of businesses, from your small farmers, construction guys, normal any business, private people, to pick up equipment at reduced prices, and to, if you need a couple of feeders or drinkers or layer cages or whatever, it's all going on auction, and we plan to clear the stores. So we're not going to hold back with too much and big reserves on items.
Okay.
Then on the day or the day before, we'll be open for viewing.
Okay.
In the meantime, we've set up, if you go to the KDC Trading website, there's a link there to the auction catalogue. And we've started building the catalogue, so you're welcome to go to the website, link through to the catalogue. We've been sending out emails marketing the auction, and a link to the catalogue will be added to the next emails in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And then people can get a good idea of what we're planning to sell, and see what they might be interested in. And then the day before the auction, Wednesday, the 31st of May.
When is the auction? Is it on the 1st?
No, the auction's on the 1st of June.
Of June, okay.
Yeah, so the day before we'll be open for viewing. So anybody that wants to physically come and have a look at the stock and is welcome to come through on the Wednesday. And then on the Thursday, when you arrive, you'll register as a buyer.
Okay.
We've negotiated a buyer's deposit of R1,000 with the company handling. Elliott Brothers is doing the auction on our behalf. So you'll need to pay R1,000 deposit to register as a buyer. And then then it's an auction. Then the auction continues, and if you buy something, it will be deducted off the R1,000. And if you need to pay in, you'll pay in. And if you don't buy anything, you'll get your R1,000 back.
Okay. So it's fully refundable.
It's fully refundable.
Okay.
And then and hopefully people can leave there happy and find what they need. But as I say, there's going to be
a lot of
stuff, and
things.
second-hand stuff, and new stuff, and vehicles and trucks and TLBs and trailers and you name it. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of trailers also going on. There's even a tractor, a Massey Ferguson tractor, and some farming, general farming equipment. So it's gonna be a big auction. Yeah.
Wow. And before I let you go, Gerrie, what advice would you give to young people who are interested in starting a business but are held back by fear? They're just afraid to go for it. What would you say to someone like that?
Be afraid.
Be afraid.
Yes.
Because
if you're not afraid, you're not going to challenge yourself.
Okay.
You need to challenge yourself. You need to have a vision. You need to have a plan, and then you need to commit.
Okay.
And you need to realize up front you're going to get challenges and you're going to get setbacks, and you need to commit to push through them. And if you don't do that, you're not going to get anywhere.
Wow.
So that's in simple terms.
So there'll be
the
challenges,
advice.
there'll be setbacks, there'll be problems, but commit, plan, have a vision, and push through, and keep that fear so that you can be able to use it to your advantage to challenge yourself. And if someone wants to maybe ask further questions about the auction or about KDC or buy something, maybe a farmer is listening right now, or a small business who wants to make use of services from the tech shop or the construction side, is there a number, a website, or contact details that maybe you'd want to leave with us?
I think the easiest would be the websites.
Okay.
We've got a website for 5 Boytjies Construction running, which
Okay.
is 5 Boytjies. It's the digit 5 Boytjies, BOYKIES .co.za,
Okay.
kdctrading.co.za, or taxshopkomani.co.za.
Very easy.
Yes,
Thank
and,
you.
and on
Yes.
there they'll find telephone numbers and addresses, and if they want to pop past, we situated about 1.5 kilos out of town on the N6 towards Jamestown, right next to Lodge Lingalonga
Okay.
on Amberdale 1.
Thank you so much, Gerrie, for your time.
It's a pleasure. Nice being here.
It has been such a beautiful, beautiful conversation indeed.
Thank you.
All right, Pulapula Vugani Community Radio, that was Gerrie Coetzer, Director KDC. We're talking a little bit about running an agricultural solutions business, but throughout the conversation, we got to understand that there is diversification that has happened, to fall towards the construction side and towards business advisory and consulting side as well. All right, we are going to be taking a short commercial break and a song, and after that, we are getting into your business update segments and also touching on some of the things that he said. Make sure that you continue tuning in. Don't go anywhere.